Hello. Hello. Good. Well, welcome. Wow. I always joke with the Mitra conveners. I obsessively count the people in the room to know how many people there are, but I can't even know. I can't even start here. Anyway, it's lovely to see so many of you, and family and friends, many of whom are sitting over here, but some maybe elsewhere too. That's fantastic. Yeah, this thing's annoying. Hang on, let's get it into a place where it's less annoying, shall we? Right. I'm assuming, actually, somebody needs to tell me, have we got people online as well? We haven't got a screen, but we have. Live streaming. Ooh, live streaming. Hello, live streamers. They're all in that little black thing up there, which is amazing, isn't it? They can all fit in there. Anyway, welcome to this fantastic event. They're really lovely events. I so much enjoy Mitra Ceremonies. The Sangha is it's a very thriving and kindly, friendly, supportive place, which is something we all really value and need. So it's especially delightful when people who are already members of the Sangha, quite clearly, because I can see them at the front and I know them all, and say, yes, and we want to publicly declare that we are members of the Sangha and that we are treading the Buddhist path, which by getting to this point they already are, of course. So, yeah. And it's really, really significant that there are people here to witness that. In fact, that's really what it is in a way, because for the Mitras to be, they're probably, in a way, by now they feel they are Mitras in many, many ways. But to declare it to others, to say to others, yes, I am this, that makes a big difference to them and to us, of course. So let's give a little outline of the ceremony. It's not particularly lengthy for those who are scared by the thought. It takes place, well, what we do is the order of events will be that Surika, who has the title of Mitra Convener, she is going to, so she looks after new people coming in to be Mitras, and then onwards and upwards and towards maybe to getting ordained or whatever, but looks after them within the whole Sangha. And Vishankha does the same. He's sitting over there by Surika. So Surika is going to give a little brief talk about what it is to be a Mitra. Or at least I think that's what she's going to talk about. She's nodding, so that's a good sign. And then we will move into this really enjoyable part of the ceremony, which is, we have a thing in Triratna in our movement we're called rejoicing in merits, where people say what they really think is positive about people. We don't do very much of that, do we? It's not particularly natural, especially in England. I don't know what it's like in other countries. We don't generally spend our time saying, how great you are, how much I like you or love you for this, 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 and this, and this. I wish we did more of that, and now's our chance. But it's also a chance for us to get just a little snapshot about these people, who, of course, many of you won't know. So it's lovely to have a friend stand up and say some really good things about each one. So we'll do that one by one. It's just 2 minutes. And then the actual ceremony is set in a sort of devotional context called the threefold puja, which means it's got 3 parts, basically. And we're talking about the Buddha, the Dharma, or the teachings of the Buddha, or the truth, if you like, and the Sangha. So that's the community of all people who follow the Buddha's path, teachings. So we hold it in the context of that. Now, there's Oh yeah, I'll explain the gifts. So first of all, one of the things that happens in that, and each Mitra to be will come up and receive a candle, a flower, and a piece of incense. And these are symbolic. So the flower symbolizes beauty and impermanence. Impermanence, all things are impermanent. So flower, and you'll see it you'll hear it in the ceremony. It's something that's really beautiful now and will pass away, and that's fine. That is existence. That is, all things are impermanent. They arise and they pass. The candle symbolizes the passing on of the Dharma through time, from the Buddha to us, and then flowing outwards. And the incense is in a way that just that it's they say it's like in a way it symbolizes what it would be like if we could all practice these wonderful dharmic truths in greater depth, how that would transform humanity. Whether you're a Buddhist or not, actually. So it's the incense, it represents the perfect life, so to speak. So each one of the Mitras to be will make their own offering to the shrine. But the warning bit that I was just coming to is after the last one sits down, this is another tradition of ours, we're going to shout 3 very loud sadhus. Sadhu just means wonderful, magnificent, and it's an expression of joy and positivity. And after all this beautiful subtlety and peacefulness and calmfulness and inner meaning, we're just going to make an incredible racket, okay? So don't hold back. Yell as loudly as you can. I don't think Manchester will notice, to be honest, so however loud you shout. Then we'll do the refuges and precepts in call and response, which is something about our values as Buddhists. A little bit of that is in Sanskrit, so just listen. Welcome to join in any part. Then finally the offerings of the Buddha, and then at the end we will have a mantra, which for Shankar will start, I think, Shakyamuni mantra. So this mantra is particularly associated with the historical Buddha, Shakyamuni, as he is called, or was called. And the bit I didn't do is, since it's impossible for everybody who would like to make offerings to come up and do that, otherwise we'll be here till about midnight, I think, we could do with 3 people who would happily just come up and do offerings and effectively be on behalf of everybody. So since I didn't set it up beforehand, 3 volunteers, Susanna, Sarah, and one other, Shubhanita. There you go. Thank you. So when the mantra comes, you come up and in whatever order you like, do offerings, and then the mantra will die away, and then we'll just sit for a short while, and then let's leave quietly and leave the new Mitras to just sit here for a short while. You're not going to miss out on all the food, don't worry. Just sit here for a short while, absorb the atmosphere, absorb what you've done, and then come down and join us. So it all sounds long and complicated, and it's short and simple, in fact. Surika. Oh yes, good point. Let's salute the shrine first before we actually start. So we'll do this in call and response. And just join in if you like, or just listen. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Dhammaya. Namo Dhammaya. Namo Sanghaya. Namo Sanghaya. Namo Namah. Namo Namah. Om the other one if you want to. Or you can, they both work.
Yeah. How's that for sound? Yeah. Good. I'm just taking in. Yes. Can you hear me? Bit louder. How's that? Okay. I'm just taking in how many people are in this room, and I know See the Body's welcome, family and friends, but it is just really fantastic that you're here because you care about these women and that they matter to you, and it's a really significant point in their life, actually. A bit like going to a wedding in some way. But the relationship that's really important in the room, well, all our relationships are important to each other, but particularly today, the relationship that's important is what their relationship is to this figure, or what this figure represents on the shrine. So I just want to say a little bit about what this figure's about and what it might mean, and what I know it does mean to these women. So we have this figure because...
Use this one.
That's impermanence for you, isn't it? There you go, Buddhist teaching. Yeah, so we have a figure to remind us of what a human being attained 2,500 years ago. Yeah, a human being attained something called enlightenment, and the qualities that that person developed completely and utterly were wisdom and compassion. So these 6 women are all very, very interested in how do you get from where you are now in your life to move closer to those beautiful human qualities that we've all got sort of seeds of inside us. So we have a Buddha figure here to sort of remind us of those qualities. So when you look at this image, and some Buddha images evoke that more than others, but I hope you get some sense of some of the qualities of a human being that gains enlightenment. When I look at this figure, I just see this sort of deep serenity, incredibly sort of open to whatever arises in front of them. Calm, still. And there's a sort of wisdom, isn't there? As if anything could happen and it's not going to sort of blow them off course. There's this real deep steadiness in that figure. So those are just some of the qualities that these women have sort of already got inside them and they want to develop further. And very fortunately for all of us, the Buddha 2,500 years ago left us some guidance. How on earth do you get closer to that in your life? And some of the key teachings of the Buddha are to do with these 5 ethical precepts. Yeah. What do I need to do to get more like that? What do I need to do to become more of the sort of person I really want to be in my life? So I'm just going to talk you through those so you get an idea of what they're already practicing in their lives. And they're saying, I want to do more of this because in my experience it's making a positive difference. I'm becoming more of the person I want to be. And hopefully, particularly family and friends, I hope you're noticing a positive change. Yeah, you're really getting a sense that something is happening for the people that you care about. So the very most important thing that the Buddha said is try your very best to not cause harm and be kind to other living beings. Yeah, sounds sort of like, oh, of course, but it's not that easy, as we know. Yeah, but try your very best to be kind to yourself and other living beings. Try not to cause harm. Yeah. Try your very best to be generous with your time, your energy, what you have, try and share with others. So try and be a generous human being. Try and be content, not sort of grasping after things that won't really bring you happiness. Try and develop an inner sense of contentment. And try your very best to speak truthfully and honestly and kindly, and watch how you word your emails. Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah, try and take care in how you communicate. It has a really, really big effect. Yeah, and then I missed one out. Oh yeah, finally, try and be mindful. Just try and be as aware as you can of yourself, your states of mind, other people, situations you're in. Try and bring awareness to your whole life so that you can try and make better and better choices about how you respond to whatever arises. So these 6 women are already made a commitment to trying to practice this in their daily lives. And just a little caveat, it doesn't mean that they get it right. I don't get it right still. Yeah, we make mistakes. But when you're saying you want to practice as a Buddhist, you're saying, well, when I make mistakes, I just want to try and learn from it. I just want to try and learn and do better next time. Yeah? So that's also what they're doing. And they've also all been practicing meditation that really supports that cultivation of kindness and awareness. So they've all got a meditation practice going because they know that that supports that. And finally, they've sort of joined into a community of other people who are already doing that and supporting each other. Yeah. So I know when I've met up with these women, and I just want to remember, Shibanita has spent quite a bit of time with Lizzy and Gitu, talking about what it means to become a Mitra. But what happens is, as new people like these 6 women come into our community, they just bring this new energy. They bring their practice. So it doesn't matter whether you've been coming along for 6 months or a year or 20 years. You just start to have an effect. So just to say, you're all already having a positive effect in this community. I already feel the effect of your presence and your practice, yeah? And we're doing that for each other, and it just sort of, it's just very, very supportive, really, to see the changes happening in each other. And finally, they've decided they're happy in this particular Buddhist movement. You know, they could be going to a Tibetan group or a Zen group, but they've decided, well, from what they know so far, Triratna is a place where they feel some confidence that they can grow, develop, deepen those friendships, and build a stronger and stronger connection to the Buddha and what the example that he's given us. So that's what they're doing today. We're just marking something that's already happening, but they're knowing, I think you all know, don't you, deep inside it, this really matters to me. It's not just like, well, I came along and maybe there's other things. No, I just want to keep going with this now. So you know that in your hearts. And we're here to witness you taking that step today. And I just want to wish you all really well. I get very moved on these occasions, but it is really delightful to see you all sitting in front of the Buddha with your family and friends to support you. And I really, really wish you well.
Thank you, Sarika. So now we all have some rejoicings in these wonderful people. And first up, we're going to be rejoicing in Nic, if you could wave your hand or something so that people can see who you are. And Joe is going to, where is Joe? There. He's going to rejoice in Nic.
Thank you. Right, can you hear me? Right, I've been told to keep it to 2 minutes, so I'm going to be succinct, but hopefully cover everything. So I've known lovely Nic for about 18 months now. We came to this particular Buddhist centre at a similar time, although Nic was already sort of far more advanced in her meditation practice than I was. And we were lucky enough to, well, I was certainly lucky, to be on a lot of the Going Deeper courses with Nic, and that's when I started to learn more about her as a person. And the first thing I learned is, unlike me, who's really loud, she has a very quiet, well-modulated voice. And whenever she speaks, it's always something thoughtful. So I learned straight away it was always worth leaning forward to hear what Nic had to say. She always said something considered and insightful that just made you go away and think, but also that gave you an impression of what a lovely person she is. We got to know each other even better over the course of 2 retreats this year. We spent a lot of time together, just talking about issues and Buddhism and our own lives and hopes. And I really came away from those retreats, especially the women's retreat in September, feeling that I'd found a really good friend and somebody that I want to know for the rest of my life, honestly. Nic is immensely kind. She is compassionate. She's a great mum from the way she talks about her kids, who I know are both here today. You get the sense she'd always be very loyal, and she's She's nailed the generosity precepts, especially when she offered to come and help me clear out my really messy house when I move. Although that's not why I'm speaking today, I will not hold you to that. Nic's also very modest about her talents, and I just want to mention when we were on the women's retreat, she wrote an amazing poem that literally took my breath away. And so many of the things that Nic says, and that poem especially that she wrote, are really amazing, but she never takes any credit. She always shrugs it off and is modest. And you can't be that today because I'm here saying how fantastic I think you are. One of the nicest things about coming here is the Sangha and the friends that you make. And that couldn't be more true. Than when I met Nic. I was so honoured that she asked me to speak for her today, and I'm so thrilled for her on a special day becoming a Mitra. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. That paints a nice picture. Next up, we're going to rejoice in Ember. Ember's there. And all the way, as a special guest, all the way from Leeds, we have Nic who's going to do the rejoicing for us.
Thank you. Oh, there you are. I couldn't see it from over there. As Neil Young says in The Last Waltz, it's one of the pleasures of my life to be on this stage tonight, to rejoice in your merits. I was thinking if I could boil it down to a couple of words, since I've only got 2 minutes. And what I came to was that you're a bringer of joy. I think that's just true. So I wanted to rejoice in a few specifics. First of all, I want to rejoice in your connection to what I'm going to call the mystery. I had the pleasure of working with you on a bit of ritual when we did a day retreat together. It was a great joy to do that with you. And also, as part of that, you've come from another tradition, and you've, I think, fantastically managed to bring that with you, and all your experience and your understanding, and yet completely at the same time engage with Triratna in a really wholehearted way, which I think is a very difficult thing to do. I'm from a different tradition myself, and that's like, yeah, it's not easy, not an easy thing to do. I'd also like to rejoice in your care for other people. It's rather like if you're going to do something as a question, well, what's in it for other people? You ask yourself that question when you decide to do something. Yeah. Maybe that's it. It's just, yeah. It's fantastic to have you joining the Mitra Sangha. Thank you.
Thank you, Nic. Okay, next up, we're rejoicing in Lorna. Lorna is sitting here. Yeah, that's Lorna. Just to confuse you all, Nic is going to rejoice in that.
So it's absolutely lovely to have the opportunity to rejoice in my friend Lorna, who is just so kind. She's got so much integrity and depth, and I knew I could trust her as soon as I met her. I hadn't known her for very long at all, like maybe 3 or 4 weeks, when I needed some advice about something, and I was struggling who I knew I could really trust. And straight away I went to Lorna, and she helped me, and she was incredibly helpful, really generous with her time, and yeah, just really kind and helpful, and everything that I needed. I knew I could really trust her with it. And she's always has that integrity. she's kind and generous to everybody, and in her work she supports young people, and I'm sure they must benefit enormously from her integrity and the way that she really listens to people. She really, really listens, and she also cares a great deal about the earth, and she practices permaculture, and she sits with the Earth Sangha, and she just has a lot of love and integrity for everyone. And I've only known her for 18 months, but she is a truly treasured friend.
Thank you, Nic. Next up, we're rejoicing in Gitu. And I'm very happy to welcome Effie to rejoice in Gitu.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Can everybody hear me okay? So I brought my transcript just so that I don't forget. I'm really happy and honoured to rejoice in you, Gitu, and all of you too. I know you all. I'm so delighted to have been asked to rejoice in Gitu today on her special Mitra Ceremony Day, and it's a real honour. It's so easy to rejoice in Gitu and her many qualities, of which I am sure most of you are already aware. Gitu has a vibrant, bubbly nature that is picked up by anyone she meets. She's such a warm, considerate, and caring and open, honest, caring and sharing person. Recognised qualities already, and truly lovely member of the Sangha. Gitu's practice is being mindful and present, and she tells me it's her family's practice too. I have witnessed at first hand those qualities in her, one of many witnessed throughout our lovely Sangha too. So a little bit background on Gitu. Gitu is a very caring, loving mother, daughter and wife. Vikram, her son, will be 2 in December. Gitu's face lights up and is filled with so much love when she talks about her son. Vikram, by the way, is a budding Buddhist. Already has attended a puja recently, to which I am told he has absolutely loved every minute. Gitu's husband Richard and Vikram are here today on Gitu's special day to witness Gitu's becoming a Mitra in the Triratna tradition. And Mitra, for those who may not be aware, means friend, and this fits very well with her personality. Gitu tells me that she's been involved with Triratna for about 10 years, on and off, but more recently this year, Gitu told me that she feels her commitment has become much stronger, having joined a Dharma study group. Gitu holds the 3 jewels close to her heart, and the precepts as well. Gitu is a yoga therapist teacher for people with trauma and finds her practice and work go hand in hand. She tells me she's very dedicated and this is how she wants to live her life. If I could just share an excerpt recently from a book on Golden Tara, it expresses the spiritual friendship and Sangha quality of Gitu perfectly. Amy's experience speaks to the sense of sacred purpose that you create in relationships with others in your daily existence. The notion that life's purpose must be grand creates an obstacle to appreciating the beauty in what is offered to you and what you offer to others in every moment. So, my beautiful Dharma sister, I will end there. Your journey lies ahead with Triratna, supportive, nourishing, fulfilling, and family. May it bring you richness of heart, joy, happiness, and a sense of belonging in every moment. And know that you are loved, respected, and cherished in this wonderful spiritual community of Triratna. Congratulations, Gitu.
Thank you, Effie. That reminds me, actually, that there is somebody we haven't welcomed, which is Vikram's very nice sheep, I can see, is also here present at this ceremony. So it's nice to have a sheep at one of these events. I don't think that's probably ever happened before. Right, moving on. We are going to celebrate now Harpreet, who is here. And ask Adele to come and do that. Although I can't help saying that Harpreet at the moment is staying with myself and Karanatara, and she is a delightful person to have staying with us. Really enjoy her companies.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Harpreet. So I've also brought notes because just trying to condense this to 2 minutes, so I'll have to follow this so I get it all. But the first words that came to mind to describe Harpreet were full of life, full of energy, and just a vibrant personality. And he is sort of exemplifying those qualities. So, but there, is that better? Okay. So I'll start with when we met 3 years ago on a Sangha women's retreat, and we ended up on a walk. And during that walk, you talked about Triratna and how you were dipping your toes in. It wasn't just Manchester, it was elsewhere as well. And you were reflecting, is this where I want to go? It wasn't something you were just going to fall into. You had a lot of questions. And you wanted to know it was the right step. You weren't going to take it lightly. And then it was really good to see you join Moksha Suri's group and continue with that questioning. You know, you're still wondering about Triratna even. And then when you joined Sripakshini's group, you know, I can see that you're really getting into this journey now. So some of the qualities that I really admire about you: you're an open book. I think it's a lovely quality. It's got a real innocence to it, you know. We know who you are, and everyone knows, you know, when I said you're an open book, the resonance in the room, people know that's who you are and who you are, which is lovely. You share all of yourself. I think that's what it means as well, you know. And that comes over as courageous too. There's something pure about this quality. You're not filtered. And this means that you often ask the questions that we won't ask yet, but we wish to ask. Yeah. And it leads to rich, deep conversations. And, you know, it's just, we join you in your reflecting and working things out. You're very open and very honest, and there's a clarity in friendship, which is very important to me and invaluable. And I think we all, those of us that know you, know how much you've embraced Sangha. There's just such a friendly vibe that comes from you. You know, you're just up for it. The weird films, you know, gatherings, walks, retreats. You know, we went on, I don't know if that was your first week retreat, not long after you joined Sripakshini's group at Vajraloka, again asking those questions. And I can see how the Dharma is impacting on you, even to the last puja that we had in our study group. You know, it went deep. So I'm absolutely delighted that you've made this decision, and look forward to our journey continuing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adele. And last but by no means least is Lizzy, who is here. And Shripakshini is going to rejoice in Lizzy.
Yes, last but not least at all. Oh, this is gorgeous because there's quite a few of us from our study group here. And yeah, that's how I've got to know Lizzy probably the best. We've been in a group together for about 8 months, I think. So yeah, when I was thinking about Lizzy's qualities, she's very multifaceted, is our Lizzy. So in one hand, she's really funny. Like, she's got such a good sense of humour, so it just kind of really lightens everything around. When you're around Lizzy, you tend to be laughing, or I do. I tend to be laughing, but that's not there's a real depth to it as well. There's not a sort of superficiality to it. She's making you laugh, but there's also, she's getting her point over that's showing something of herself. So she's not taking herself too seriously. And I think that's a really good quality. It just helps, it just makes you really easy to be around. Also Lizzy's, well, maybe this comes from being a teacher, or maybe the two are intertwined, but Lizzy's very creative. So, if she's reflecting on something in the Dharma, she's expressing it through a poem, and she'll share it, and it's actually really, really good. It's so, and she'll be expressing that through art, and just really bringing herself in through that. But I think one of the things I really wanted to rejoice in as well is, there is this sort of lightness, there's this humour, there's this creativity, and there's also this like steely courageousness. There's this real fearlessness that, you've overcome, I think, quite significant things to be taking this step. It would have been, maybe in one way, quite easy not to be taking this stay in. Perhaps a bit smaller, following the stream, but you're somebody who's really, I think you're really on a journey, and that's not an option anymore, and that's really inspiring to be around. So there's lots more I can say, but I just feel really delighted that you're taking this step, and I'm really enjoying being alongside you in it.
Thank you, Shripakshini. Okay, that's really nice to hear about you all. I kind of knew most of it, but it's nice for everyone else as well, so it's great. Okay, so we're now going to go into this short ceremony made up of very, very ancient ways of expressing our reverence, our gratitude to the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha. Which reminds me, I need the puja book. It's one of these things that you know the puja off by heart, but of course, if you're going to lead it without it, something will go wrong. Something may go wrong anyway, by the way. It has happened before, but let's at least start with the right intention, shall we? Great. Okay, so let's just have a couple of minutes of quiet sit, first of all, and then we'll begin. the threefold puja in call and response. Opening reverence. We reverence the Buddha, the perfectly enlightened one, the shower of the way. We reverence the Dharma, the teaching of the Buddha, which leads from darkness to light. We reverence the Sangha, the fellowship of the Buddha's disciples, that inspires and guides. Reverence to the three jewels. We reverence the Buddha and aspire to follow him. The Buddha was born as we are born. What the Buddha overcame, we too can overcome. What the Buddha attained, we too can attain. We reverence the Dharma and aspire to follow it with body, speech and mind until the end. The truth in all its aspects. The path in all its stages. We aspire to study, practice, realize. We reverence the Sangha and aspire to follow it. The fellowship of those who tread the way. As one by one we make our own commitment. An ever-widening circle the Sangha grows. Now we have the Mitra ceremonies themselves, and I invite each of the Mitras to be to come up and take up the three offerings and offer them to the Buddha. So we'll start with Nic. And Ember. Oops. Lorna. Gitu. Harpreet. And Lizzy. Now let's shatter the beautiful silence and say how wonderful this is with 3 hearty sadhus. Sadhu! 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 And now in total contrast, we'll do the refuges and precepts. In call and response. Namo tassa. Namo tassa. Bhagavato arahato. Samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa. Bhagavato arahato. Samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa. Bhagavato arahato. Samma sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Dujampi buddham saranam gacchami. Dujampi dhammam saranam gacchami. Dujampi sangham saranam gacchami. Dujampi buddham saranam gacchami. Dujampi dhammam saranam gacchami. Dujampi sangham saranam gacchami. Panatipata. Veramani. Sikkhapadam. Samadhyami. Adimadana. Veramani. Sikkhapadam. Samadhyami. Kamesu. Michachara. Veramani. Sikkhapadam. Samadhyami. Musavada. Veramani. Sikkhapadam. Samadhyami. Sumaya. Majja. Pamadadana. Veramani. Sikkhapadam. Samadhyami. Sadhu. 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 With deeds of loving kindness, I purify my body. With open-handed generosity, I purify my body. With open-handed generosity, I purify with stillness, simplicity, and contentment. I purify my body. With truthful communication, I purify my speech. With mindfulness clear and radiant, I purify my mind. Offerings to the Buddha. Reverencing the Buddha, we offer flowers. Flowers that today are fresh and sweetly blooming. Flowers that tomorrow are faded and fallen. Our bodies too, like flowers, will pass away. Reverencing the Buddha, we offer candles. To him who is the light, we offer light. From his greater lamp, a lesser lamp we light within us. The lamp of Bodhi shining within our hearts. Reverencing the Buddha, we offer incense. Incense whose fragrance pervades the air. The fragrance of the perfect life, sweeter than incense. Spreads in all directions throughout the world. Shakyamuni Swaha. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni 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 Shakyamuni Swaha.